Hello, Dr. Joe here. Now, you are at risk of premature brain aging if you don't stop this very habit, even if you go to the gym to spend 2 hours a day. You are at risk of Alzheimer's disease if you don't stop this very habit, even if you go to the gym to spend 2 hours every day. Why do I say that? Well, it's the result of this very study here, okay? This very study that was published in Alzheimer's and Dementia Journal. We're going to be looking at this very study, what they did, their findings, and how their findings apply to you and I on a day-to-day basis, the practical application to you and I, okay? We're going to be looking at that. Before we jump right in though, just a quick plug. This is my book on managing high blood pressure with lifestyle approach. This is an award-winning book. This is the second edition of this very book. Links to get the book right below this very video. So, this study, like I said, was published in Alzheimer's and Dementia Journal. What did the study authors do? Let's have a quick look at that. Well, they recruited 404 people and gave them Actigraph to wear. What is an Actigraph? Well, it is a device that monitors your physical activity 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay, so they wore Actigraphs. And what else? Well, the study authors carried out neuropsychological assessment as well as brain MRI scans on these 404 individuals, and they followed them up for 7 years. Okay, 7 years, doing regular brain scans, MRI scans, that is, as well as carrying out neuropsychological assessments on these 404 individuals. What else did they do? Well, and this is the bit that is important. They assessed their sedentary time because they're wearing Actigraphs. They assessed their sedentary time in relation to brain structure as well as cognition. Okay, they assessed their sedentary time in relation to brain structure and cognition. What is cognition, by the way? It is your ability to acquire new knowledge, understand it, process it, retain it, and recall it when needed. Okay, that represents cognition. So they assessed all of that, as well as the physical brain structure, the area that is responsible for your cognition, which is the hippocampus in the brain. They have to assess the volume over time. And what tends to happen is if the volume of the hippocampus is diminishing, then of course your cognition will be going down as well. So they did that. So let's look at their findings. Now, here we go. Their findings, they're not necessarily earth-shattering, but they have lessons for you and I, okay? What they found was that increased sedentary behavior also raises your risk of neurodegeneration. If you are sitting all day, your risk of neurodegeneration goes up, okay? That's one of the things they found. They also found that if you are sitting all day, increased sedentary behavior, your cognition goes down because your hippocampus is shrinking, that area of the brain responsible for cognition. If it's shrinking, then of course your cognition will be going downhill. So that's one of the things they found. Now, more importantly, the other thing they found was that if you have got what we call the apolipoprotein E4 gene, okay, ApoE4 gene, then those who had it, they had worse results, okay? They had worse neurodegeneration and also worse cognition. That's one of the things they found. So, before we get to the practical applications for you and I, do you know if you've got the ApoE4 gene? We'll come to that shortly. By the way, if you have one copy of the apolipoprotein E4 gene, that raises your risk of developing Alzheimer's disease, because this gene, the presence of this gene, impairs your ability to metabolize fat in the brain. So your risk of Alzheimer's disease goes up. If you got 2 copies of the gene, then of course your risk rises even more. But that is not to say that if you've got either 1 copy or 2 copies of the gene, that you are guaranteed to develop Alzheimer's disease, because there are things you can do within the lifestyle space to reduce that very risk. I just needed to say this, okay? And the study in question is the one you're looking at now on your screen. So the lessons for you and I are this. One is we want to reduce our sitting time, okay? Even if you go to the gym and spend 2 hours a day, but it is not good to be sitting for 8, 9, 10, 12 hours a day. Not good at all. So we want to be moving all day. That is the lesson for us. You want to be moving all day, even if you go to the gym. You want to be moving all day. Every hour at work, you should be moving for 3 to 5 minutes, okay? Just do that. We want to be doing that. So, now, here's the thing. If you've got the ApoE4 gene, if you've got the apolipoprotein E4 gene, this recommendation is mandatory, okay? It is mandatory if you've got the ApoE4 gene. So, let me go back to the question I asked you earlier. Do you know if you've got the ApoE4 gene? I don't know. Maybe you do. Here's the thing. A lot of us in the population, we don't know our apolipoprotein E4 gene status. So if we don't know our status, it makes sense for us to assume we have it. And then of course, that means this recommendation applies to all of us, okay? It applies to all of us. It is mandatory. So the reason for all of this is that what they found in this very study is that sitting all day, okay, sedentary behavior is an independent risk factor for Alzheimer's disease, okay? Let me repeat that. Sedentary behavior is an independent risk factor for Alzheimer's disease. Hence, I'm saying we all should be moving all day, even if you go to the gym, all right? So that is a lesson for us here, because sedentary behavior is a modifiable risk factor. That is the essence of this very video. So I'm hoping that you got some value from this very video. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. Please like the video, and also please share this video with your friends, with your family, with your colleagues. Questions, comments down below. That's it for this very video. Until next time, well, this is Dr. Joe signing out.